Okay, am I back up? Not yet. Okay, there we go. Yeah, the raid crashed my computer. I don't know if it was like the alerts coming on or something or some combination of stuff, but yeah, it just like the raid came up. I was like, "Hey, Baku, how you doing?" And then blue screen of death. Wonder how far back that's going to put me in the game. But welcome to the stream, everybody. Hopefully it doesn't fall apart again. Trying to get everything back up and running. Bots up, boards up, it's up. Okay, let's get the game running again. Yeah, I'm actually like really close to the end of Tales of Arise. I'm not playing off a PlayStation. I'm playing off a PC. That's what I'm saying. I'd like, because I did have Tales of Arise crash my game once before, but that was when I closed the game one time. It was like right at the end of my stream. I closed the game and it blue screened. Let's see where this puts me. I have to rely on autosave.
Why don't you lighten the mood for us while we're here then?
I'll see what I can do.
Well, like I said, this is only the second time that it's happened.
Thinking about what
Already saw this one. This is only the second time it's happened, and I'm pretty sure it might have had some kind of combination of like the alerts and some other stuff. I don't know. I've got a chat bot, I've got Leorin board, I've got OBS, I've got all this stuff up, so who knows what triggered it when all that came in. I guess we have to watch this cutscene from the start again. I didn't lose too much, maybe just a couple of minutes. But anyway, as I said, thank you very much for the raid. Trash Kitty, thank you very much for the follow. Now we're just stress testing and bug checking.
What in the world?
All right, Baku, get some sleep.
This being Renin territory, I was prepared for a lot
Well,
of
it's
things to
4
look
a.m.
different.
for me.
But this is a bit more
Yeah,
than I
I'm in Central
anticipated.
Time.
The very foundations
All right, you too.
of the city have shifted. What could have caused this?
When Lenegus changed shape, it must have had an effect on the interior too.
Maybe when they sent the
But yeah, again, as a warning, I am very close to the end of the game, so anybody that wants to avoid spoilers, this might be a good point for you guys to mute or tab out or something.
But they wouldn't move around the places where people live. These are their homes, right?
I would think the citizens themselves didn't have much say in the matter. Either way, locating the Forbidden Zone just became that much trickier.
Dohalim? Is that you?
Avakir, I'm glad to see you're well.
So it is you! But why are you here? Shouldn't you be down on Dana participating in the crown contest? And these people?
So you haven't heard what happened on Dana, then?
Heard what?
Someone you know?
An old friend.
Yeah, as for anybody that actually is sticking
Tell me you've started keeping
in and
They're with me. More
bearing
importantly,
through it,
what's happened here?
if you don't, I'm in Baku's
I'm
channel
really not
sometimes,
sure.
but if you
The
don't know
city's
me already, I'm
foundations began to shift
another
without warning, and now
mainly
everything looks like
JRPG
this.
channel.
We're
Every
all
once in a
waiting
while
for
I'll
the
throw in like a
Sovereign to tell us
character
what's
action game or like a
happening. So
Metroidvania, but
far,
I'm pretty much a
Avaki, listen to me.
JRPG
We're
channel,
looking for the Forbidden Zone.
and
Do you have any idea where we might find it?
I'm basically on from
Forbidden
2 a.m. to 6
What
a.m.
business
Central
could you
Time, so
possibly
I've got
have
another
there?
2 hours left,
Trust me. The less you know, the better.
and
You're just the same as ever.
yeah, pretty much covers
I
it.
wish I could help, but what with the change topography,
More
I can barely
gameplay,
locate
less
my own
talky than
home,
Baku, but
let alone the Forbidden Zone.
Very well.
that's usually because I
Looks
don't
like
have
we'll to
nearly
find
as
a
many
way
people
there
in chat
ourselves.
drawing my attention as he does.
Have you seen Faria yet?
No.
I see. Well, nothing much has changed with her. If anything, she's probably even more.
I can well imagine.
Why did you come back? You know it can only result in pain for you both.
I've no doubt of that.
You really are the same as ever. Fine, I understand. Just don't say I didn't warn you. And take care of yourself, okay, Doe?
So who's Faria?
Law?
If what Avakir said is true, it would seem the people of Lenegis are being kept in the dark about what's happening down on Dana.
They seem to be just as clueless about what's going on up here in their own world. Despite the fact that it's actually here that the wedge originally came from.
We need more information. Let's talk to the citizens, see what we can find out.
While we're at it, we can ask them about the Red Woman, too.
And don't forget about finding the way to the Forbidden Zone either.
Let's leave the talking to Shion. We can't have a bunch of Danins poking their noses
Yeah, I was just
around.
about to say that.
Good
Most of them
idea.
probably wouldn't
I
talk to
think that's for
everybody.
the best.
I shall assist.
You sure?
Being a lord on Lenegis has its advantages.
Right. Then we'll leave it to you two. The Danins among us should probably keep our heads down.
What if people freak out?
I shall explain it away by saying I'm leading you.
What are we, dogs?
Well, let's get in character, since he's going to be the one doing the talking anyway.
What could be so important? It's worth destroying people's livelihoods and homes in the process. It's just unbelievable. Uprooting an entire city as if it were mere building blocks. Someone's got an awful lot of questions to answer.
From how it looks, they must be siphoning off astral energy from Dana, and then sending it to Rena.
But why do all this? What for? Surely they can't be using all that energy for the crown contest.
Whatever their purpose, disrupting their siphoning process alone won't be sufficient. Not while we still don't know what their endgame is.
He's right. We need to stop this from happening ever again.
This Forbidden Zone might be where we find some answers, right? So what are we waiting for? Let's get moving!
You heard him. We don't have time to stop and chat. Let's move.
More skits?
So, I've been wondering, do you think when Lenegis was built, it was even made with people living here in mind?
What do you mean?
Well, none of this happened by coincidence, right? They must have designed it to transform like this. But then, if they knew people were going to live here, you'd think they would have taken that into consideration to avoid all this chaos.
Ordinarily, yes. You'd think so. Trust me, as far as we were concerned, Lenegis was our home, nothing more. No one knew about all this. It makes you wonder whether the city was just built on as an afterthought. But if so, to what exactly?
Sorry, that probably sounded weird, huh?
Not at all. Sometimes it takes an outsider's eye to help you notice what you've been missing all along. This place is a mystery, that's for sure. Something tells me we'll find answers where we're going, though.
Yeah, you're right, Shion. I'm sure we will.
Okay. All the skits are done now. Is Lennigus done for? The residential quarter is falling apart. Oh wait, people we have to talk to are marked. Looks like there's a map action over here. Someone we can heal. Hey, Namulala. Thank you very much for the raid. How are you doing today? Fancy parfait recipe.
Everything will be okay now.
Oh.
I know the basics of healing.
That one didn't
but my
didn't
skills
crash my
can't
computer, so it might just be the size of the raid. Alright. Does Japan celebrate Halloween any differently than the rest of the world? That's not a holiday that I hear too much about, you know. Yeah, it's just not a holiday that I hear too much about in Japan. I mean, honestly, I think my parents have given up on that front. Because I'm one above you. I'm 41 and single. I think they just gave up on it. Okay, so no begging for candy, just costumes. Okay. Yeah, I just realized now that you mentioned that, I don't think I've ever heard of Halloween in like anime or JRPGs or any of their like entertainment forms to know how they celebrate it. Like I know that like Christmas they usually have that little cake, and I know for Thanksgiving they go to Kentucky Fried Chicken, like all like you know all the little differences in how they celebrate in the culture. But I don't think I'd ever heard anyone mention how Japan celebrates Halloween. Nice. Unfortunately, I think I'm going to be working Halloween. I'm not sure if it's worth it to wear a costume. Oh, really? About how long do you think they've been celebrating it? Like new, like is in the past few years, or like maybe a decade or two? Okay, so if young people celebrate it, I'm guessing... Is it? Maybe I'm getting mixed up. Okay, so yeah, that's what I was about to say. I'm guessing it was an internet thing. Like once the internet came up and people started talking to each other, you know, and Halloween came up. So that was probably the internet that turned them on to the existence of Halloween, and the young people started doing it as well.
Your lordship. Oh, what a great honor it is to finally meet you. I descended to Dana during the last crown contest also. Alas, when the contender I was backing failed to clinch the title, I returned. I witnessed the deaths of so
I mean,
many
it definitely
slaves.
seems like a no-brainer.
Indeed.
You know, just
Sorry to interrupt.
like Halloween is
We're looking
essentially
for a
the
woman
big
dressed
holiday
all
for
in red.
cosplay.
Have you seen anyone of that description?
All red, eh? No, I can't say I remember.
Yeah, and that's what I'm
anyone
saying.
like
I'm
that.
pretty sure Halloween
imagine
spreading
she'd
around to other
stand out
countries is
somewhat,
probably attributed a lot to people learning of it from the internet.
Yeah. What about down on Dana during the crown contest? You didn't see anyone like that hanging around the lord you were serving?
What's with all these questions? I've never seen her, okay? Not recently or otherwise. Why do you want to find her anyway?
Never mind. Forget I asked. Sorry to take up your time. Is everything okay? You look a little lost.
Yeah, whereas here it's
I can't seem to
children
find my
begging for
home, is all.
candy
I
and
was just about to
adults
make my umpteenth attempt
basically
to
having
move
an
it.
excuse to dress as sexy as they want and not be looked down for it.
Situation is a real pain, huh?
I suppose the Sovereign knows best. I daren't stay here too long, though. A lower caste can only linger around these parts for so long before I outstay my welcome. I was hoping to avoid it, but maybe I'll have to go that way after all.
You mean you know another way round?
Lord Dohalim Ilkaris! But how? Last I heard, you were in Dana competing in the crown contest.
Yes, strange, isn't it? If you know another route, we'd be grateful if you could tell us.
But of course. Please forgive me. There's a wall that sprung up ahead of here, with what looks to be an entrance in it. I thought maybe it was a passageway between the different quarters, but I've no way of knowing for sure.
It's worth investigating, at least. I shall go and assess the situation. In the meantime, wait for me here. If it looks safe, I'll come and let you know.
You'd really do that for me? A lord troubling himself for someone of my lowly status?
Our lot in life is of little consequence. We are both Renan, first and foremost.
Oh, why yes, my lord. Thank you.
Well, that pointed us in the right direction, but there's still one more person to talk to.
Oh, dear me. What an unspeakable mess this has all become. Just look at the state of our city. Even the Zugals have stopped heeding our commands. Whatever did we do to deserve this?
You really have no clue what might have caused this?
Would that I have. Alas, there was no warning, no prior decree. His Highness must have deemed it unnecessary for us to know. We have no choice but to grin and bear it. But do my eyes deceive me? Could I really be standing in the presence of his lordship, Dohalim of the House Ilkaris? I believed he was on Dana.
Your eyes do not deceive you. It is I, one and the same. I have returned to fulfill a special duty, the details of which I cannot divulge.
As your lordship wishes. First Lenegis mutates beyond recognition, now this unexpected visit. The Sovereign's plans are inscrutable indeed. The Ilkaris house has produced a great many lords over the centuries. I shall be praying for your victory in the latest crown contest.
Your good wishes do me an honor.
Well, we've canvassed the city for information. What do you think?
No one has the faintest idea what's happened to the city after all. They haven't heard the news about the crown contest either.
You'd think that info would easily find its way up here. Has it always been like that?
Not to this extent, which would indicate that something's suppressing the truth, that Lenegis is under some kind of control.
Given everything that's happened to their city, the people here seem weirdly okay with it all.
Yeah, that one guy even said his Zugal had stopped listening to him. If that's true, these people are in big trouble.
Everything that happens here is attributed to the Sovereign's will. It's the way people have been conditioned. Their belief runs deep. Nothing happens devoid of a reason. To them, it's all part of the Sovereign's grand plan.
The Sovereign's plan. There is one thing I'm still not sure about. Just who is this person ruling over Lenegis?
The Sovereign, of course. He rules from Rena while presiding over both Rena and Lenegis.
Without the lords or anyone in the middle doing his dirty work? Isn't Rena at least the same size as Dana? That's a pretty big dominion for one person to rule over. I would have thought ruling Lenegis alone would be difficult enough.
The points you make are valid, though I confess I'd never given it much thought before. Here, the Sovereign's total authority is as natural as night turning to day. Come to think of it, I know nothing of the nature of how Rena itself is. Shion, have you ever been... No, forgive me. Have you met or crossed paths with, or even heard of someone who's actually made a visit to the homeland?
No, I haven't.
Neither have I. In which case, I would imagine that... But no, surely not. Can it really be that no citizen of Lenegis has ever been there?
Hold up, what are you getting at, Dohalim?
Assuming what I believe to be correct, it's possible that no one on Lenegis has ever laid eyes on the actual Renan homeworld itself. No one but the Sovereign, that is.
But what about trade and communication?
So Planet
There's
Reno
got
is
to
a
be
fake?
flow back and forth, surely.
Not if the Sovereign is imposing his will on Lenegis single-handedly. It could be a one-way street.
But I thought you said that the Sovereign's all the way over on Rena. If that's the case, can he really rule directly over Lenegis from so far away? What if something were to happen to the city, like now?
I'm beginning to wonder what the nature of this Sovereign even is. Alphen said he was forced into the role, right? Just before the ceremony. But Sovereign is also the title given to the almighty Renan ruler. So which one is it?
Whoever wins the crown contest inherits the throne from his or her predecessor, before becoming ruler over all of Rena and Lenegis. Thereafter, that individual is known as the Sovereign. Though, it would appear that the current ruler has...
So has no one ever asked the previous crown contest winners when they change hands?
At this point, I no longer know what to believe.
3 centuries ago, I became the Sovereign here on Lenegis. No, not just became, I was forced to. Me, a Danon. 300 years later, we cross paths with Volron, who also bears the Sovereign's crest. That's not the only thing we have in common. We both became Sovereign without winning the crown contest.
Do you think Volron was made sovereign for the same reason? Because of that ceremony?
I can't say for sure, but it certainly sounds like it.
But that would mean that 2 Sovereigns would need to exist at any one time. One whose job it is to rule, and the other for ceremonial purposes. We never did see Volron's body back in Ganeth Haros. Is a new ceremony underway with Volron at its center this time? Could that be what's causing all this strange activity here?
Wait a second. You don't think Volron and the Red Woman are working together, do you? The ceremony can't go forward without the Renis Alma. The same one that the Red Woman stole.
There's something else the ceremony needs. A maiden. And unless there's another one out there aside from me...
Questions, questions, and yet more questions. Ones that it seems will remain unanswered, until we can establish the Sovereign's identity.
If the Forbidden Zone really is off-limits to everyone but the Sovereign, that seems as good a place as any to start. For the sake of liberating Dana, too.
Then it's decided. That's where we need to go.
One of the citizens mentioned a passage that she thought might lead to another section of the city. It could point us in the right direction. Let's go find it! I
Skit.
didn't realize Renans oppressed their own kind, too.
And yet, weirdly, none of them seem to mind. Am I the only one who finds that strange?
It is the way things have always been, so no one thinks to question it. You have experience in that regard yourself, do you not?
Unquestioning acceptance of your own servitude. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Even so, the quality of life here seems much higher than any Danon city we visited. I used to think it was impossible to build an ideal society without wealth. But I suppose having it doesn't always mean people are treated fairly either.
More to the point, not a single citizen seems to have even heard of the Red Woman.
What if she's not here? What if it turns out we're looking in the wrong place entirely?
It's still too early to say anything for sure.
For all we know, she might be able to blend in, move around unnoticed. I say we hold off judgment until we've exhausted every avenue.
And another skit.
Tell me, Dohalim, has that skill of yours got a name?
And what skill would this be, pray tell?
You know, when you're talking to people around town. The way they suddenly become putty in your hands.
I'm afraid I don't quite follow.
I do. It's called friendly intimidation. Look imposing and speak in a deep, booming voice, and presto, you'll have people wrapped around your finger in no time.
I would never stoop to such scandalous tricks. Any feelings of intimidation are solely in the eye of the beholder.
So there is a knack to it! How do you learn it? Can anyone do it?
Now you've got me curious. Is there special training to master?
Let's see. An obsession with being elegant is a must. Oh, and it helps to be old-fashioned, too. Bonus points if you speak in a way no one can understand.
If you've a bone to pick with me, it'd be quicker to just come out and say it.
What? They look up to you, that's all. I'm just helping them along.
Hey! What's got into Alvin and Law all of a sudden?
I can barely understand a word they're saying. And what's with the weird poses? Was it something they ate?
Yeah, they just watched
I hope
JoJo.
you're willing to take the blame for this one.
I wasn't expecting them to take me so seriously. I'll go and have a word with them.
Okay. I think we might finally be done with all the scenes. For at least a while a bit. Yep, take that back. Another scene.
With nobody left to run the show, I wonder what the people here are supposed to do. I mean, there's sovereigns up on the Renan homeworld, and all their lords were sent to Dana.
But Dohalim was a lord, right?
Only current acting lords have power. Renan society is quite strict about such matters.
Even if the other lords were still around, I doubt they'd be able to do much about the situation.
I wonder what they'd think if they were here to see Lenegis now. Balsif, Cannabelt, Almadria, and Volron. Now that I think of it, aside from Dohalim, we know next to nothing about the other lords.
Well, yeah, why would we? To us Danans, they were just enemies we needed to overthrow. Nothing more.
I know. But seeing Renans in their own city, going about their day-to-day lives, it gets you thinking.
It feels strange to imagine the lords living here too, you mean?
Yeah, a little.
If you're that curious about them, why not try inquiring with some of the locals? Every lord in their household has their share of supporters here on Lenegis. And luckily for us, the people here are unaware of the events on Dana, which means they should be more inclined to talk to us.
Side quest. Yeah, I guess we can do it. Man, Ragnar, you weren't kidding when you said get the popcorn out. You want to know which lord I support? Why? You out canvassing for someone? I'm with His Excellency Ewolsi Teldalis. You probably know him better as Lord Balsef. I know a lot of people consider him to be a giant brute. Believe me, I realize he can be an aggressive man. Those people don't realize is how much he looks after the members of his house. It's fair to say that House Teldalis doesn't enjoy much esteem. Those of us who serve it will be the first to admit that.
Yes!
But His Excellency always stands up against any who would mean us harm. Of that we can be sure. His efforts in the crown contest aren't only for his family, but to improve the standing of each and every member of his house.
Yes!
I owe so much to His Excellency. I could never dream of serving any other lord. You may want to dream about it, because he dead.
Someone other than himself? Really?
It's possible. A change in position can do much to alter one's perspective.
So even he might have had something he wanted to protect.
Lord Dohalim, you have returned. Ah, and I see you brought aides with you. Do you remember who I am, my lord? Surely you must, yes? Not only do I support House Ilkiras, but more specifically his lordship personally. So much so I've been trying to share my appreciation of his lordship with any who will listen. In fact, I was planning to publish my extensive writings on the subject of this very terminal for all to read and enjoy. But since the lines appear to be cut due to the recent tumult, I have been unable to upload them. I know, since you're all here, I'll just read them aloud. There exists a most handsome man, a man who radiates beauty, whose every word, every syllable is divine poetry. He hails from the famed house Il-Karas, and his name, Lord Dohalim. Music is his passion, the arts his great love. The scores of boorish, uncouth men of this land cannot begin to compare to his magnificence. So refined and majestic is his posture, why the mere thought of it brings me to ecstasy. Once he becomes our sovereign, Renel shall bloom anew, ushering in an era of prosperity for our grand civilization. Until that glorious day comes, I shall ever be praying for his victory, morning, noon, and night. Oh, what do you think, my lord? I poured my whole heart into it, hoping to capture your essence. Wait, I forgot to mention anything about his lordship's love for collecting things. I must take this time while the lines are down to append it. Only then will my masterpiece be complete.
I guess she intended to spread it throughout all of Lenegis then.
Good thing the
Yeah,
lines
he
were
may
down
want
so
to
she
put a
couldn't
restraining
see.
order on that one.
Sounded like she was praising them too.
Maybe there was more to the guy than at first glance.
I shall refrain from commenting.
Strawberry. Well, I never. To think anyone would try to tear me away from House Valkyries. What do you want? Don't tell me you want to work for Lord Dohalim and that dreadful Lord Almadrea, do you? Don't. Well, don't scare me like that. To answer your question, I come from a family that has served House Valkyries for generations. Indeed, I'm doing all I can to support Lord Ganabelt behind the scenes so that he might emerge victorious. Many think him to be a cruel man, but I insist they're utterly mistaken. No, they're not. Though I won't deny he can be strict, he puts Rena's interests front and center like no one else. Why, he advocates that rather than stay confined to Lenegis, we should get on with colonizing Dana, expand our horizons. That way we will become masters of both worlds, and overturn our current minority status on Dana's surface. That is why he seeks to become our next sovereign. Tell me, is there a greater, more noble ambition than that? I think not. It's a pursuit of power for the advancement of all of our kind. It's what makes him an exemplary lord, a model above all others. Though I was unable to accompany him myself, my two sons have been blessed with the honor of joining him on the surface. As their father, it fills me with endless pride. Yeah, they're probably all dead.
Yet he was invested in helping Rena succeed. Doesn't that seem just a little inconsistent?
I'm perhaps biased in this matter, I admit. However, in my mind, while all lords vie to become the next sovereign, they're also meant to serve as guardians of all of Rena.
It seems like Ganabelt also had people he cared about until the very end.
So why couldn't he extend that to us Danans?
I'm guessing there's probably more in the next area.
This area doesn't look as badly damaged as that other district we went through.
Indeed, the effects of Lenegis' transformation appear to be less pronounced here. Or, viewed another way, this area was simply luckier.
Pardon me.
This area falls under the sole jurisdiction of House Canaris. I must ask you to depart at once. Surely you don't claim to be ignorant of our famed house, ruled over by the esteemed Lord Almadrea. If so, I urge you to listen well. In fact, I bid you listen carefully regardless. Have you ever noticed how in the history of Lenegis, only a few women lords have emerged to compete in the crown contest? Many have theories as to why this might be, but Lord Almadrea quashed the doubts of any naysayers through her sheer might. In fact, not only did she usurp her father and previous family masters, she also removed her older brother to claim the seat for herself. She's a woman who stops at nothing to get what she wants, but gives her enemies nary the slightest opening to strike. Truly, Lord Almadrea is a woman of talent. No one in all of Rena better exemplifies the virtues of our nation's meritocracy. Soon the age of a glorious woman sovereign reigning over Lenegis shall be upon us at last.
I guess her willingness to stoop to any level came from a survival of the fittest worldview.
And some people here not only shared her belief, but championed it as morally right too.
That doesn't make it true.
And she was also the most insane out of all of them. Let's see what's in here.
Ridiculous.
So this one should be for Volron. How loathsome. I was just reading about Volren. Can I help you?
Okay.
I was always an ardent supporter of Lord Uwagil Hildress myself. Were it not for his sudden death down on the surface, I likely still would be. In my eyes, Lord Uwagil is a true water lord. I don't believe for a second that he perished in some accident, like they say. As for how Volran Lord runs Ganoth Harros, don't get me started. I hear he enslaves not only Danans, but even his fellow Renans. We may live in a society where the victor goes the spoils, but his actions go against what we as a people stand for. Besides, just what sort of family line is this house Ignaceri of his anyway? I never heard of it until he came along, which means they must be among the lowest dregs of society. That such an ignoble lineage could suddenly produce an astral artist capable of ascending to lordship is unheard of. None of it makes any sense, not to mention all the upheaval around here of late. What is happening to our people?
It seems like the people on Lenegis don't really know much about Volron either.
I remember being quite surprised when the Lord of Ganoth Harros changed so abruptly.
Didn't you have any doubts that something suspicious was going on?
On the contrary, remember, we Renans are raised to accept everything at face value.
When you think about it, the families of Renan lords must see them differently than the rest of us.
Yeah, despite the brutality they're known for.
They must have had a lot on their shoulders, carrying all the weight and responsibilities of Renan society.
Renans live in a world where strength and power determine their position in the social hierarchy, so they tend to grow up fiercely competitive. But their loyalty to their people is also strong. It's what brings them together against outside forces, and nothing exemplifies that more than the Lords.
That's what makes them the guardians of all of Rena, so to speak.
Right. It's the same reason Balsif hated my guts, and Ganabelt went after you. Because we're threats to Rena.
Guess that makes you an even bigger oddball than we thought.
So, Alphen, have you gained anything from all of this?
Yeah. I think it's made me realize that the Lords were all people, too. Balsif and the others, they all had their own circumstances to deal with as they went through life.
Yeah, but still, just because they had loved ones in their lives doesn't mean...
I know. What they did was horrible. I'm not trying to dispute that.
Yeah, don't forget, every serial killer and, you know, everybody who's ever committed genocide all had people that they cared about, too.
Just like the rest of us. So I guess what I'm trying to say is...
You're saying that they weren't bad because they were Renans, or because they were terrible monsters. Even if they did terrible things, they were still just people.
Rinwell.
Am I wrong?
Not at all.
Being a Danan doesn't make you a good person. And being a Renan doesn't make you a bad one. I think that's something we've all seen.
Shion and Dohalim definitely make a good case for it.
And I'm going to keep doing my best to make sure I earn that trust. As a fellow human being above all else.
Yeah, it's definitely got a lot of cutscenes. I'm actually kind of itching to fight something already, just because of all the scenes. Oh god,
There's
another one.
something I just don't get.
What is it?
The crown contest itself has always gone ahead as planned, right? In which case, the current sovereign of Rena should be whoever it was that won the previous contest.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, who was it then?
Hanfricht Milgras, the former Lord of Cislodia, if memory serves.
So then this Hanfricht whatchamacallem, he's the current ruler of Rena?
The last I heard, yes. Though, admittedly, I haven't actually seen him since the end of the previous contest.
You're saying that ever since becoming sovereign, he's never actually shown himself on Lenegis?
I guess over holocom maybe, but not in the flesh. Same thing goes for the sovereign that came before him.
Now that you mention it, I don't recall anyone ever visiting Lenegis from the motherland, sovereign or otherwise.
And that never struck you as a little bit odd?
When you live here, it's as if you're conditioned not to notice all these strange quirks and discrepancies. The question is then, by whom? And to what end?
A new Renis Alma is supposedly created to coincide with every crown contest, meaning each victor is awarded their very own. In other words, if that's true, there should be as many of the things out there as there have been contests.
True, but going on what we witnessed in Pelagian, it didn't look like the sort of thing that could be made to order. But if even the victor's speeches have been part of some grand deception, then where are they? Quite frankly, I'm not even sure what to believe anymore.
You and me both. Though we are Renin by blood, neither of us even knew that such a thing as a Dark Master Core existed, remember?
With any luck, the Forbidden Zone might give us some answers.
No use standing around here chatting about it then. Let's get a move on.
Now you say that, but you're probably gonna have me view another skit or another cutscene. No treasure chests around here. Yep, there we go. No use chatting about it, let's just go, but we're gonna chat some more.
Faria.
Varia? Isn't that the person that Avakir guy was...
But why are you here? Wait. Don't tell me you've given up on the crown contest and come crawling back home from Dana already. Nothing to say? Even though you were willing to kill Tarnigan to secure your position as Lord, you still...
Kill?
I'm here to take care of something. If you wish to continue this conversation, I only ask that you wait until I'm finished.
Oh, of course. You always did prefer to take the coward's way out. Even after 7 years and living on that Danon rock, you haven't changed one bit. But let me tell you, I haven't changed either. Not a day's gone by the past 7 years that I haven't hated you.
If killing me will bring you peace, then so be it.
Dohalim, what the hell are you saying?
First, I have business to take care of. If it's vengeance you seek, I will grant you it. But you must wait. My sins are legion. Let me finish what I came to do. Then you have my word. I will let you do whatever brings you peace.
Sure, that's it. Run away like always. You don't even have the courage to die. No wonder you leave it to someone else. You're just a coward!
Dohalim.
I apologize that you had to witness that.
Is it true? What she said about you killing someone?
Each of us have our pasts. I am no exception.
Before, back in Menancia, you mentioned having taken a friend's life over the throne. Is that what she meant?
The mistakes I made there were not my first, and may not be my last. I will say no more.
Did you mean what you said? About letting her take your life if she wanted to?
She has more right to my life than anyone.
But you can't just...
Whatever happens, I have sworn to put an end to the crown contest, and to ensure continued coexistence in Menancia. I have no intention of expiring before I do so. There are far too many questions I still seek answers to. Besides, you have just as much reason to kill me as she does.
Dohalim!
Forgive me. Some things are best left unsaid.
If this is a long walk with nothing on it, there's gotta be another scene triggering somewhere. Yep, there it is.
Wow, this place is beautiful.
Yeah, it must be some sort of rest and leisure area for the locals.
You think? Man, these Renan sure know how to live it up, don't they?
Is something the matter, Dohalim?
Before I went down to Dana, my friends and I, we used to gather at this very spot and play music together. Avakir, Faria, and Tarnagan. That was a lifetime ago now.
Tarnagan. He was the one that Faria mentioned, right?
He was once my dearest, closest friend. As well as Faria's betrothed. Despite Faria's lower-class upbringing, she possesses a tremendous talent for music. Entranced by her playing, I helped her overcome her sense of inferiority and introduced her to Tarnagan and Avakir. It was a time of great joy. 4 people bound only by their love of music, with no care for social standing. Only the next song, the next melody.
A friendship based on mutual respect, and a society where everyone is a prisoner to their social class. You really are different, Dohalim.
I suppose it's natural you would see it as strange.
I would have, once. Now, I think the idea of breaking away from society's constraints and choosing your friends based solely on affection is something beautiful that's worth cherishing. Besides, it was that way of looking at the world that laid the foundations for coexistence in Menancia.
Your praise does me too great an honor. I was merely following the wishes of my own heart. And even then, it only lasted until the crown contest began. After that, Tarnagan and I became fierce competitors for the position of Lord. Tarnagan had fallen for Faria. By becoming Lord, he aimed to wrest her from her humble origins and raise her to the highest echelons of society. But fate was not so benevolent.
What happened?
Tarnagan was no match for me in combat. On a level playing field, he wouldn't have stood a chance. But he was desperate and low on options, and he couldn't stand the thought of defeat.
You mean he resorted to dirty tactics to try to win, right? But then why does Faria think... Wait, don't tell me she doesn't know.
How could I tell her? Combined with the trauma of losing her beloved, and by her friend's hand, no less. She would have been devastated.
So instead you let her go on hating you, so she could use that hate as a crutch for her grief?
That's not the same as running away, though.
It is exactly the same. Unable to face the loss of my friend and the burden of my duty. Instead, I decried my fate and looked away from what I'd done. As for what happened after, that you already know.
But if you hadn't become Lord, Menancia wouldn't be what it is now. The Danans there would still be suffering under Renan oppression like before.
Shion's right. What other lord would have treated me as you did? Anyone else and I would have been dead long ago. You've saved so many people, Dohalim. You saved me. It's thanks to you that I'm here today. So, try not to blame yourself. The burden you've placed on your own shoulders is too much for anyone to bear.
Frank as always. But I shall do my best to heed your advice.
Do you think he'll be all right?
Yep, still going.
Yeah, I think so. He's got Kisara.
It's important to have someone like that.
I didn't realize how difficult it is just to be there for someone.
Sometimes just knowing someone's on your side can be enough. And he knows, Xion. I promise he does.
I hope you're right. I never appreciated until recently just how much you were always there to support me.
It goes both ways. You've helped me keep going more times than I can count.
Maybe, but I still wanted to say thank you.
Hidden chests.
Offer their assistance.
Hey, 383, how you doing? Thank you for the raid. Just chatting. Hey, Snow Cove, how you doing? I'm doing pretty good. Getting real close to the end of the game, but it's gone into like full exposition mode.
Good food is the best kind of magic.
Oh man, I'm out of money again. What part are you on? Yeah, I don't think I guess it's pretty safe to sell these, I guess. Nah, like, I'm pretty set on accessories. I've already made, like, everybody's got one with 5 slots where I like everything in each slot. So, accessories were pretty good. Okay, so Shion and Rinwell still need drops for their best one.
You can never be too prepared. But did we have to spend so much?
Oh my god, do we finally get to fight something again?
Damn it. Lenegis soldiers.
Any way we can avoid fighting them?
That all depends on them. Whatever happens, be ready.
Well, so much for them not wanting to fight. Hope.
I am Lord Dohalim of Elden Menancia. I command you.
The rest of the city must be erased.
No. Have they been brainwashed too?
Brainwashed enough. If they want to fight, they've got one.
Strong. Let it open.
Be my guest.
I'll smash you. The abyssal deep. Heal my weary companion. The enemy will talk too.
Nothing to see about that.
Support.
I'll take you all on! Ha!
I know, it's been so long since the game's let us fight something. It took me a while to remember what the controls were.
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! I'm on a roll now! We're not finished! Raging flame! I'm ready! Shion!
Get toasty!
Burn strike! Demon descent! Flashing fang!
And now another
Those
30
soldiers seem
cutscenes
different
before
from
we
the
fight
citizens
again.
we've come across so far.
Yeah, they weren't big talkers, that's for sure. They just attacked without warning.
They weren't in the least bit fazed by Dohalim's presence either.
Indeed. They seem to recognize us as enemies, nothing more. And yet, traditionally, Lenegis hasn't been high on threats. A few frenzied Zeugles during experiments here and there, but not much else.
Their glazed-over eyes reminded me of the soldiers and slaves we met back in Ganath Harros. The ones in blind devotion to Volron.
I've never seen anything like that here on Lenegis before.
Maybe someone doesn't want us here, and the soldiers are their way of letting us know.
What with the Red Woman, the Sovereign, and Volron, we're starting to develop quite the growing list of adversaries. At least we'll know to keep our wits about us.
Oh, hello. I'll be seeing you soon.
will not serve you well here.
You picked the wrong fight.
Too fast!
These sticks have got your name on them!
Shine! The radiant light!
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! Armor won't save you!
No further!
Look sharp! Lightning fighter ready!
I need to be stronger.
Snowy Meadows, thank you very much for the follow for the raid. And Claxy73, thank you very much for the follow. Neko brought you here. Okay, I was about to ask, 'cause I don't think I've met you before. So Neko's been guiding people here. Thanks, Neko. And Adam, how you doing today? You playing Assassin's Creed Unity? Which one was that one? That's not the newest one, is it? That's like one of the older ones, right?
Let's dispose of the trash.
Thank you.
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! Come and get it!
Trying to check see if this thing has a core. It doesn't.
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me.
I can carve through armor! Flip and tear!
Now my clothes are ruined.
Take this! Evil Lady! This one's mine! Raging Luna Storm! I'll tear you apart! Super Swallow Dance! Royal Dance!
And Adam, thank you very much for the follow as well.
No further!
Here's a healing arm.
I'm on it! I'll finish you here and now! Blazing Blade! Eat this! I'll save you! Watch it!
I'll pick you all on. Ha! Flares and malice.
Well, that's... I mean, I put in the Discord, everybody can submit who they want in the pool for summon waifu. And people requested her.
In a bind? You're on a roll now! Shattering the pieces! Attack time! I'm on it! That's enough! I'll tear you this time! Inferno Rocket! Finish without a fight! I'm on it! You got it! Raging Blade! crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! Eat this! I'm just getting started!
You're taking too many hits!
Raging flame! In a bind? Eat this!
I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare the Malicer!
Bestow thy haste!
Inferno Classic! Look sharp!
Healing circle! I'll tear you apart!
An outstanding
Now you only things Tornado God! Pierce through! I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Wait, have we added any from Kuro? I know you said you were gonna look for some, but I don't remember if we actually put them in yet or not.
I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare the Malicer! Ha!
Tear you apart! Don't leave! Hey! Blow them away!
We're still standing.
Damn, I don't think that even counted as a mini boss. I think that's just a regular enemy down here.
We're in for a long slog with this.
Bring them down!
I'm the true gunslinger around here.
I see what I can carve through armor! Blazing flame! I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Well, Kuro is the start of a whole new arc. So, I'm guessing you won't technically need to play Cold Steel until they get, like, unless they decide to do, like, 3 or 4 games attached to it where they decide to start bringing everybody in again, like they did with Cold Steel 3 and 4.
Shattering raging pieces! Attack time! The flame inside me! I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! Can't get out of this! I'm on it! This one's mine! I'll tear you apart! Super swallow dead! Raising fire! Raising flame! I'll tear you apart! All in one! Nice while it lasted.
Make it rain!
Get toasty!
Burn strike!
Sighted, too slow. One more.
Raging lunar storm! Race on now! I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
And the enemies in this dungeon have definitely got some health bars to
More
them.
magnificent than the musket.
Although, truthfully, I don't mind because it lets me get long combos, and I love long combos.
Literature of a warrior. Perhaps it is in search of this perfect beauty that I myself am drawn into battle.
Short kick.
Coming through!
You got spirit! Save you! Can't get out of this! Hurricane! Eat this! Whirlwind snap!
never
A
finish.
showdown between blade and fist. Tear you apart! Super swallow dance!
A new lease on life.
Raging Wicked! That's Wicked does it! Shine! Raging Wicked does it! Raging Blade!
Sorry to trouble you.
Now, Raging Blade! Beat this! Attack! I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! You're wide open! That's enough! I'm on a roll now! Another one down! You're wide open! Now I'm in the doing! Burn! Swallow down! Eat this! I'm ready!
I feel sprightlier than before.
Those soldiers don't seem to have any qualms about attacking on sight.
Oh, hey, we met earlier. How you doing?
Get out of this!
Lunar blast! Back into the
Wrong fight! Penumbra! Tornado drive!
I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare the Malika!
Mercy! Eat this!
healing circle.
I really owe you.
That's better.
Eat this! Hurricane blast!
Lunar blast.
Unexpected!
Here's the evil.
Take this!
Freeze laser.
I'll tear you apart!
It's time to finish this. Die. Consuming wildfire.
I'm on mercy!
Oh, thank you.
I'm on I'm gone! Armor won't save you! Now I'm in the groove!
Charges that can easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop. I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare the Malika!
Glacial fire.
Crumble!
Eat
that! I'll tear you apart!
Water. Hear my call.
I'm ready!
I'll stop your movement!
And I'll stop your life! There's always room for improvement.
Unfortunately, I am gonna wait. Just for the simple fact that they added that, where you can't stream, like, the last few dungeons. But they did the same thing for Persona 5, and then they dropped it later, so I'll just wait for them to do that. I'll just have to try really hard not to get spoiled in the meantime. Yeah. If it was like it was with Persona 5, it should only be like a month or two until they repeal that stupid, like, no spoiler mandate for the last few areas. Well, I frequent, like, I'm always looking for, like, news on everything. So I frequent, like, the JRPG Reddits and everything. So the chances of me, like, seeing a thread where they spoil it are probably a little higher. Well, you should just stay away from the Falcon Reddit in general, because they are, like, really toxic. Oh, that's right, it was an herb. HP... Still going to Rinwell. Well, the Mega 10 Reddit's pretty bad too, so I'm pretty sure there'll be spoilers all over the place. I may have to not hang out in that one for a while.
I need to be stronger.
I'll deal with you guys in a minute. Not even from manga readers, like people who read the manga and the light novels that, you know, can spoil stuff that the anime hasn't gotten to yet.
My exploits are bearing fruit.
So how many floors is this place?
This must be it. The entrance to the Forbidden Zone.
But it's just a wall. How do we get through?
Whoa, we? I thought this was Sovereigns only.
Alphen.
Yeah, basically. This second half of Tales of Arise is almost like the second disc of Xenogears.
Yes! It opened!
Interesting. If Alphen's presence still opens the way, it would seem the Sovereign of 3 centuries ago and now are considered one and the same.
What?
What the?
Alphen.
You again.
Tomorrow's the spirit channeling ceremony. We'll finally play our parts as the Sovereign and Maiden. How have you been feeling?
What am I sovereign of? Shuffled from lab to lab. Always
It's
treated
definitely
like an
worth playing
experiment.
for the
Whenever they
story,
look at me, all they see
but
is a Dan.
a lot of the
I don't even know
gameplay
what the
has
precious
aged
ceremony's
pretty
for,
bad.
let alone what they're going to force me to do as the Sovereign.
considering how badly a lot of the gameplay has aged, I actually consider the second disc where it's all cutscenes
Becoming the Maiden's
almost a
not something
plus.
I wanted for myself. But they said Rena's prosperity depended on it. How could I say no after that?
Still, as a Renan, at least you got to decide. Good for you. Meanwhile, I was taken from my homeland. You aren't the captive one here.
It isn't right what they did to you, and I'm sorry for what it's worth. When this is over,
Yeah, it definitely
I swear
is.
I'll help you get home.
But the story still stands up.
One more day.
How could I say no to that? It's not like I have any choice in the matter anyway. So, what's your name?
It's Naori. Naori Imaris. Try to remember this time.
You don't act like them. Like the other Renans, I mean. How come you treat me like a person?
Because you are. It's true we come from different worlds. But neither one of us asked to be here right now. In that sense, you and I are much the same. We couldn't do this. We wouldn't be able to talk to each other as people if we didn't see the humanity in each other. So I suppose the question you should be asking is, why wouldn't I treat you like one?
You're not like the others.
Maybe they're not like me.
Here's what we'll do. We give them their damn ceremony. You get me to Dana. That'll be the end of it. I'm taking you at your word on this. I'm trusting you, not them. Naori.
And in 300 years, I'm going to date your great-great-great-great-great-great-granddaughter.
What the hell just happened?
That vision. Did everyone else see it too?
That person Alphen was speaking to, she looked exactly like Shion.
It was Naori. Naori Imaris. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right.
She really does look like Shion. I'm beginning to see why Alphen was so confused.
That's all very well and fine, but what did we just witness exactly? It was too real to be a mere hallucination.
It was a conversation we had 300 years ago. The night before the ceremony.
You mean all of that really happened? We just saw an episode straight out of your past?
But how is that even possible? Unless... Could this be the Red Woman's handiwork too?
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
You guys didn't feel it? The moment the entrance opened, it was like a stream of Danon astral energy rushing over us.
I felt it too. And not for the first time either. It was the same sensation as back inside the wedge.
That would make sense. After all, vast amounts of Dana's astral energy were being siphoned and sent up here to Lenegis. For all we know, perhaps we're close to the spot where all that energy was stored.
So you think it might have been the energy itself that was responsible for that vision we just saw? But how? And why?
We have no way of knowing. Maybe it's not even as deliberate as all that.
Shion, you okay?
Yeah. It was all just a little sudden. That's all. So that was my ancestor, huh? It was like looking into a mirror.
Yeah, there certainly is a resemblance.
What about you? How are you holding up?
Me?
Even putting aside the question of where that vision came from, it's likely we'll see more of those. Reliving painful episodes from your past. Do you think you can handle it?
I can't just pretend like the past never happened. Besides, if it helps us uncover the truth of what that ceremony really was, it might also lead to answers about your thorns.
Alphen.
That's not all. This whole time, we've been fighting to free Dana from the Renans. But now that we're here, it seems those same Renans might have it just as bad. I'd like to liberate them too if I can. Which is just another reason I can't afford to shield my eyes from the truth.
Whether you're on Dana or somewhere else, you always stay the same. Your indignation and righteous passion, your desire to free and protect, they're all hardwired into you. Not that I'm complaining. Come on, let's bust this thing wide open.
Nobody's here.
Stay sharp. After that last illusion, there's no telling what could happen in here.
Boss fight?
Faria, how did you get in here?
Wait, something about her isn't right.
What's wrong with her? She doesn't even seem to know where she is.
Yeah, you're right. She looks just like the soldiers we encountered outside.
A summoning?
But that's preposterous. She never had that kind of power when...
We can talk later. Here it comes!
Tormented limbs.
I've never known Faria to control symbols like that before.
Where did she get her hands on that? Go for the weak point!
Everlasting dawn. Negative gate. Armor won't save you. Not today. Charge like that could easily be faced.
Just as well, I'm here to stop.
See what happened there as you crossed me. I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! I'll let you all down. You're making it
I'll bring you back from death to this.
Thing's got a hell of a vertical reach.
can't get out of this.
Focus your attack!
Why am I not getting any heals? She got both healers in the party. That was my fault. I walked right into it. Yeah, Star Ocean 6 is coming out on damn near everything.
Kisara, I'll stop your movement.
And I'll stop your war.
Yeah, it's coming out on PC. Like, it's already announced. Like, there was an article that I posted in the Discord that was, like, going over a lot of it. That's where I found the names for the characters and, like, what year it takes place in the Star Ocean timeline. It's like, it's 200 years before 3 and, like, 80 years after 5. Or, yeah, 5. I think 5 is the latest one. You know, excluding 3, since they don't seem to ever want to go past the plot twist in 3. Well, it stayed exclusive in the West, but I believe there was also a PS3 version of it in Japan.
Can you hear me? Varia!
She's preparing another summoning!
The arts she's casting is way too powerful to control. At this rate, her body won't be able to take much more. No, Helene.
Forgive me.
Yeah. Yeah, they probably didn't bother putting it to other stuff just because it wasn't well received.
Yes. She's only unconscious.
Not her. I
I didn't mind it. I thought it was okay. But I also have a
please,
theory that
can
I
you treat
can't
her?
confirm or deny that
I can try,
I
but
feel like originally
can't
it was
promise
supposed
she'll
to
be
be an
back to her real
MMO, and then
self when she wakes up.
they changed their mind at the
All I
last
can do
second
is
and
heal her
made it a
physically.
single player.
We're not even supposed to be in here.
It just has a lot of trappings
Maybe
of
it'd
an
be better if
MMO
we
in it
moved her to
that
somewhere a little safer.
don't really have any reason to
Don't
be
you
there.
think?
In that case,
I'll take her off your hands.
you? Avakir, what are you doing here?
I was curious what you were up to, so I took the liberty of
But
following
it definitely
you to find
seems like
out.
they're taking a
I
lot
overheard
of
what you said about Tarnigan.
cues off of Star Ocean
I'm
2
sorry,
for this
I had
one.
no idea.
So
And you believed
they
me?
may actually be
What
trying to
makes
be,
you so sure I wasn't lying?
you know, at
I
least
like to think I know you
self-analyzing
a
and
little
trying
better
to
than
figure
that,
out what
Marlene.
worked for them
Give me
before
some
they
credit.
started going downward spiral with 4 and 5.
I'll take Faria. Leave her with me. I know better than to ask what you're up to.
Although I really
Whatever it
wish
is,
they would
I hope it all
continue
works
on
out.
past that
Thank you.
plot twist in 3. There's a lot of really cool things you could do with the story after that plot twist, but they're just afraid to even acknowledge it anymore.
He seems like a good friend.
He hasn't changed. He never was one to stand out. Instead, he was always hanging back. worrying
It's
about
Star
everyone
Ocean
else.
4 without the
As for
cringe
Faria,
so far that I've
it's always
noticed.
the closest to me who
Like,
get hurt.
there's no, like, his
You
name
don't
is
seriously
Raymond,
blame
not
yourself
Edge
for what happened
Maverick.
to her, do you?
Somebody got to her to strike back at me.
Which is
Someone who knew
good.
me well
Everybody,
enough to
like,
know
Star
that I'd
Ocean
hesitate
4
to
had
fight
probably
back.
the best combat.
And the
Everybody
same
loved the
goes for you
combat. It
as
was just
well.
the story and the
Neither
characters
you
that were
nor
terrible.
Faria would have lost loved ones.
And it
if
seems
wasn't
like
for me.
they're trying to
You're
scale
wrong.
back on that. So it looks like they're
Talzalith
trying
was
to
the one
make
who
Star
killed my
Ocean 4
brother,
without the
under
cringe, which would
orders from
actually be a
Alnadria.
really great game.
As for Tarnigan, if it weren't for the crown
At
contest,
some point,
he'd
I do
still
need
be
to play
alive.
it. I played
That
it a
and the
long
whole
time
damn
ago, and
hierarchy that
I
makes it
quit because I
possible.
couldn't take it. But I
that's
need to
why
give it
we're
another
fighting.
shot at some point.
To put an end to this whole messed up system that treats people as expendable.
Indeed. Ridding society of this blight is really the only way I know how to atone for my sins.
You can't atone, Dohalim.
Yeah, in 6, the character designer
know
for
it
6
hurts
is
to hear,
Akimon, the guy who
but
did
those people are dead.
Street Fighter 4.
No amount of soul
I don't know if he
searching
did
or
5
trying to
also,
make
but I know he
amends
did
is
Street
going to
Fighter
change
4,
that.
which is why the main character,
Forgiveness,
Raymond, looks like,
acceptance,
you know,
those
Ken
ships
in
have
outer
failed.
space.
So I just forget the harm I caused?
No, the opposite, in fact. You remember. You never forget. You keep it in your heart always. And then you go on living. Not for those already passed, but for those still alive.
For those still alive.
Kisara's right. So long as we've still got breath
And
in our
as we
bodies,
pointed out in
we
the
can
Discord
make a
also,
difference in the lives of
at the
others.
very least, the main
Lives
female
will be
protagonist
outnumbered.
is wearing actual,
That's
like,
what living's all about.
battle armor.
Being able to still make a difference. Punishing
She's not in a
yourself for the
chainmail
past
bikini.
won't make the pain of your conscience go away.
Only fixing the problem in its stead.
Different character
Is
designer.
that what you're saying?
That's right.
And if you
You
look
have to
closely at
live
all the
for
character
tomorrow,
designs, you
Dohalim.
can kind of
Not
see,
for
like,
yesterday.
the similarity
Not
between
only that,
Street Fighter 4
you need to
characters
live
with
for
them.
yourself.
Like, there's a
And for the
lot of
change
heavy
that you still can
shading.
be.
I shall try.
Don't forget, we've still got a mystery to solve. The Forbidden Zone, remember?
Shion,
Huh?
thank you. You have my deepest
Yeah,
gratitude
6
for
is
what
looking
you did
good.
for Faria.
Glad to be of service.
I'm glad we could stop Faria without hurting her.
You
My
all did much for her as well. And most
my only worry about it,
We're on the same team, right?
my only worry about it is if they go too open world with it. Like if they try to go like full Xenoblade open world. Like that might bug me because I'm not a big fan of running around for 20 minutes to get to something happening. And that's what a lot of open world games end up being, you know, spend 20 minutes running to this location for something to happen, now run another 20 minutes in this direction for something to happen. And I mean from the trailer that they put out, it could be going in that direction, but not necessarily, but I hope they don't.
Let's.
Do you think Faria was really being controlled by someone?
Certainly seem that way. The question is, who? The Red Woman?
The same person who's behind all of this, I'll bet.
Like, if I ever play the Xenoblade games, it's going to be for the story, and I'm going to tolerate the gameplay. Because I've seen other people play
Someone used her
Xenoblade
because they
1 and
knew we'd
2
hold
a
back.
bit, and
If that's saying
the
dirty, I don't
gameplay
know
does
what
not
is.
look appealing to
It
me,
does tell
but
us one thing
I
at
do
least.
want to see the
Someone
story
here
at
in
least.
Renegus is watching us. Someone who means us harm.
There's
Yeah,
no
but it's
question.
also, this is
That
probably
attack
also
was
like
meant for
alpha
us alone.
footage.
By someone capable of getting inside a person and manipulating them like a weapon. We need to
Because
find
it still
whoever
had
it
the,
is
you know, this is a
fast.
game in development disclaimer watermarked at the bottom, which they don't do unless it's still really early in development. Maybe it'll be better playing it, but every time I've seen someone playing the Xenoblades, like, I don't know,
What is it, Rinwell?
it's way too
Did
much
you
like an
hear something
MMO,
again?
and I
Yeah.
played MMOs to hang out with friends. I've never really had an MMO where I actually liked
It's
playing
that
it.
voice.
The will of Dana's astral energy.
Alright, so we're gonna find out how everything blew up.
What? There's so much astral energy. But where's it all coming from? It's almost like it's alive.
So even Naori had thorns. Guess she just didn't know it.
That was the spirit channeling ceremony just now. No, it was more than that.
What the hell was that? It felt like everything was on the brink of... like the whole world was seconds from...
Oblivion. It's the same vision as the one my thorns show me. A vision of impenetrable darkness that swallows up us and everything else.
An empty void. A nothing so complete and dominating that there aren't even words to describe it. The end of time.
The visions of the apocalypse you've been seeing. If I'd known how bad they were,
So, everything we just saw, those were Naori's memories, right?
That's right. It was as if her innermost thoughts were speaking directly to us. At least I know they weren't mine.
That power flowing into her. It reminds me of Shion's thorns. If they're what's responsible for all these visions she's been having, then maybe...
Maybe my thorns are made from that same astral energy?
If that is the case, we just found the missing link between your thorns and what happened here 3 centuries ago. No, more than a link. Perhaps even the very heart of the matter.
I've never felt astral energy so powerful. What was that?
if it's the same energy your thorns are made of, it must be dark astral energy, right? And isn't that something only Renans have?
Correct. Dark astral energy is possessed by Renans alone.
And when enough astral energy gathers together, it develops its own form of sentience. If so, maybe that complete oblivion is exactly what the Renan astral energy's will is wishing for. But why?
I don't know. Will can be a pretty vague thing to nail down. It's more of a feeling, just like the will of Dana.
But the will of Dana is made up of astral energy too, right? And if that's what's been showing us these visions, I don't know, should we really be getting so involved with this thing?
Dana's will would never want oblivion.
But you can't say that for sure.
Cut it out, you two. Squabbling over theories will get us nowhere.
Let's keep moving. If it's Dana's will showing us these memories, then I'm as clueless about its motives as any one of us. But if it could lead us to the truth, then I want to find out more.
Shion's right. All we can do is keep going. If these really are Naori's memories we're watching, there could be truths in them I was never aware of. And I think they may be the kinds of truths I need to confront if we're going to keep fighting.
I'm sorry about what I said earlier. Come on, let's go.
So,
Finally, we begin
if
to
it's
understand what the thorns are.
if it's the will of dark
their
energy,
source.
which dark
A
energy is from
ceremony that
Marina,
occurred 3 centuries ago.
But we still don't know how to
and
get
they
rid of them.
can't prove that anyone's
hope
ever
we can
gone
find
to
a way.
Rena and come back. Is Rena just like some kind of death world, like a giant Australia where everything there is just there to kill you?
That vision we saw, it was as if it was meant specifically for us.
What do you make of it? Do you still think the will of Dana might be involved somehow?
Maybe it's trying to tell us something. But what?
Well, it could be supernatural. You know, like seeing dead people, messages from beyond the grave, ghost type stuff.
That's your grand theory? That we're being haunted? Come on, Law.
Wait, he might be closer to the mark than you think. What if a person's thoughts and deeds were to somehow become indelibly etched into the ether of a place? And what if those with a connection could then somehow pick up on them?
You think that's what it was? Some kind of message someone left here for us?
I am merely entertaining the possibility. Whether it was Dana's will, or somehow connected to the Sovereign and Maiden's powers, I do not know.
Okay, back up a sec. You're saying that if a place is full of enough astral energy, it can somehow show us events that happened centuries ago?
More to the point, how does that much astral energy gather in one place anyway? Seems unlikely it happened naturally.
Whatever it was, it survived here intact for 300 years. Whoever left it for us, the strength of their intent is beyond doubt.
The strength of their intent.
Oh, they're getting dramatic. We can only walk.
Soon, we might very well learn the truth behind Shion's thorns, as well as my own past. I have to be ready to face anything. Whatever happens. Just need a little time first.
Yeah, because I think I used up a whole lot of life bottles in that last fight.
Soon, I have to be ready to face anything. I just need a...
Where is the nearest teleport point? Fuck, I'm pretty sure if I go back, I'm gonna have to fight my way all the way back up here again. I've only got 5 revives left. Let's give it a shot.
Soon, I have to be ready to... I'm determined. Hold up, you guys.
What is it?
I want to look through that room over there. I'm curious what we'll find.
That's the room you visited in your past, right? Sure. We can check it out. This looks like some kind of research facility.
A laboratory secreted away in the Forbidden Zone. Why am I past being surprised at this point?
Looks pretty deserted.
Let's check it out. It might give us a new lead.
For the people of Lenegis, the Forbidden Zone is the stuff of dreams. Yet here I am, standing within its hallowed halls.
It's off limits even for lords, then? Talk about an exclusive club.
Being exclusive is one thing, but how many important facilities let in only the Sovereign? Doesn't that seem a little strange?
Strange doesn't cover it. If it was only one room, maybe. But a place on this scale? How do they keep it from falling into ruin? Whoever the Sovereign is, they can't manage the upkeep of this whole place themselves.
Did no one ever talk about it when you were growing up?
No, not that I can remember. Then again, Sovereigns and Forbidden Zones weren't exactly breakfast table conversations.
The Forbidden Zone is a hallowed place, at one with the Sovereign's authority, grounds of the one true ruler who presides over all Renans. That is what we believed this place to be. No, what we were made to believe it was. But now, it is finally time to discover this area's true purpose, and why it was kept hidden behind the scenes for so long. I think I can make this work.
Well, can you make head or tail of it?
It's a list of all of Alphen's Patreon
These are
supporters.
experiment records by the looks of it. Reams of them, dating back hundreds of years. Let's see. A composite being capable of controlling Danan astral energy so as to convert its molecular and elemental makeup. The creation of a governing central figure taking the form of a Danan. Codename Sovereign.
Sovereign.
Wait, there's more. Research into utilizing force field crystals for the purpose of stable astral energy containment. That must be the Master Cores. With all this raw data, there's bound to be records here somewhere about the Maiden and the Lords, too.
About the lords? Why would they be on there?
Think about it. The Lord's crests are clearly of a piece with those of both the Sovereign and the Maiden. Not to mention the fact that the contenders to the crown are selected from otherwise regular Renan citizens. In other words, it may be that all Renans are unwittingly being made subject to some kind of grand scheme.
What about the Sovereign? Does it say anything else?
Where do I start? All I've read so far is the headlines. There's so much here. To sift through all of it would require specialized... Wait.
What is it? Did you find something?
It's a list of names, with the title, Test Subjects, Sovereign. It's your call.
Read it.
There must be dozens of test subjects listed here. Hundreds even. All of them failures. Wait, I think I've found one that was successful. Test subject number 1273. Ethnicity, NA. Unique adjustment index, generation, NA. Given name, Alphen.
They re-engineered me. Right here in this lab.
Alphen.
So Alphen's essentially Captain America this whole time.
It's fine, really.
He was an experiment, and he was
What
the
about
only
the
one it
others?
worked on.
Was I the only one?
Test subject number 10105. Ethnicity, NA.
Let me guess,
Unique
Volrat.
adjustment index, generation, NA. Given name, Volron.
Yep.
Volron? But that means...
He's only sovereign because someone made him that way too.
I still say Volran's a clone of Alphen.
He's the last one. In 3 centuries worth of records, you and Volron are the only 2 subjects on whom the experiment was a success.
But what about the winners of the crown contests? Does this mean that none of them were ever crowned sovereign after all?
Upon victory, the Sovereign shall return to Rena and rule over Rena and Lenegis combined. When a new Sovereign is decided, the outgoing monarch shall relinquish their post and live out the rest of their days on Rena. So we were told. But according to these records, there have only ever been 2 Sovereigns, neither of whom had anything to do with the crown contest. It's all lies, including the part about the Sovereign residing in Rena. The crown contest was never about deciding a new ruler. It must always have been devised for
Maybe
some
they
other
were
purpose.
fed to Rena.
But even supposing that's true, someone must have been in charge for the past 3 centuries, right? If it wasn't the Sovereign, then who was it?
Crown contests have been held this whole time, in spite of the fact that there was already a sovereign. Me. Meaning that for the past 300 years, someone out there has to have been maintaining that lie. The same person I'm willing to bet is behind all this.
The Red Woman?
It's possible. But that doesn't necessarily mean she's the mastermind behind this scheme. She could be working for someone else. Someone back on the Renan homeworld.
Either way, it's fair to say she's definitely involved somehow.
What about the data records? Is there no other information that could help us?
Not that I can see. Just file upon file of experiment results. There's nothing here about who's behind all this, or what their endgame is, unfortunately. I've barely managed to scratch the surface, mind you. You won't be able to read through it all, but you're welcome to take a look through what you can, while we're here.
I'll do that.
So this is where Alphen became the Sovereign, and Volron as well. The significance of this location would suggest...
Hey, it looks like the terminals in here turned on too.
We should look through them. They might contain valuable information.
Sovereign acts as Legenesis' central control device for the spirit channeling ceremony. Each one is granted level 2 authority and an ID crest. Danon's subject serves as the base of its creation. In theory, ideal candidates possess equal affinity for every astral element. However, such aptitude is statistically rare to uncover within real-world conditions. As a result, most subjects die during the adjustment period, and stability is still not guaranteed for those who survive it. This instability, coupled with the Sovereign's power of astral manipulation, pose a high risk to the security of Lenegis if left unchecked. As such, stabilization measures must be put in place via the support mechanism when utilizing the Sovereign in the spirit channeling ceremony. Addendum 1. No effective alternate methods to perform the ceremony have been found. Trials on Danon subjects are authorized to continue. Addendum 2. Unit 2 adjustments are a success. Subsequent adjustments are to be put on hold while extended observation takes place. Maiden acts as the sovereign support mechanism for the spirit channeling ceremony. Each one is granted level 2 authority and an ID crest. A Renan subject serves as its functions, providing the sovereign with the supplemental dark astral it lacks in tandem with the Renus Alma. During the ceremony, it is partly responsible for astral energy conversion, as well as maintaining stability over the sovereign's own powers. Additionally, the degree of intimacy between it and the sovereign has been observed to positively impact the level of stability in both subjects. Because of this, trial activations of the sovereign without the maiden present are expressly forbidden. Furthermore, neither the sovereign nor the maiden are to be informed about the details of the spirit channeling plan. Addendum 1. Mental instability in the maiden has been deemed the cause of the past sovereign's rampancy. Countermeasures must be considered. Addendum 2. In line with planned adjustments, the current subject will have its maiden registration revoked and be returned to its original household. Each crown contest, 5 of the best qualified members of the Renan populace are chosen to act as lords, vying to serve as the next sovereign. During their tenure, they are granted level 3 authority as well as one of the 5 elemental realms to administer and its corresponding master core. They are also assigned an ID crest indicating their designated element. The selection process is based only on astral artistry and physical and mental aptitude. Other variables such as age have no bearing whatsoever. Because only the strongest go on to become lords, the position itself does not inherently make an individual any stronger. It should be noted, however, that lords are not the only individuals capable of drawing out a Master Core's powers. All Renans must take part in the selection process, and acceptance of the position is mandatory. It is not allowed for those deemed suitable to decline. Furthermore, in the event that an acting lord is incapacitated, can no longer serve in their position, a replacement must be quickly prepared. Following is a report on the second successful case of Sovereign Test Subject experimentation. Test Subject 10105, given name Volran, everything else unknown. Although subject possesses high latent potential, it exhibits significant mental instability along with a strong distaste for following orders. As such, the risks it poses surpass even those of the last successful subject, itself a failure, and is therefore under consideration for disposal. Addendum. This is the first successful case in 300 years. Previously mentioned risk factors are now mitigated due to established control protocols. Subject is to be evaluated under the assumption that Plan 2 will proceed and will be dispatched to Dana under the guise of serving as a lord. Master cores are instruments of power containing astral energy that belongs to one of the 6 elements. 5 of these master cores, those within the earth, water, fire, wind, and light, are loaned to Renan lords at the time of the crown contest. Only the dark master core is maintained inside the Forbidden Zone until the Renus Alma is ready to be reformed, its existence kept top secret. Underneath the master core's spherical outer layer is a force field crystal used for the purpose of astral energy containment and stabilization. Inside the force field, astral energy is stored in a dormant state. The duration of their tenure, each lord competes in the crown contest to amass their allotted type of astral energy. In the event of an emergency, each lord may be allowed to withdraw from their respective stock of astral energy as necessary. However, the extent allowed is determined based on their own individual strength. Addendum 1. Design flaws have been discovered in how the Renus Alma materializes. Be advised that active master cores may resonate with other master cores located in close proximity and become unstable. Addendum 2. Due to successful regeneration of the Renus Alma, master cores will cease to be deployed and the crown contest will be permanently halted. Spirit cores are end terminals used for the collection of astral energy. When embedded in a biological subject, it establishes connections throughout its body. These connections are used to amass astral energy generated from physical activity, which is then emitted from the host body itself. Because this emitted energy is prone to diffuse, the host must be placed within range of a spirit vessel for the energy to be collected. This means that Donans must be employed to harvest the astral energy for the purpose of the crown contest. Given the difficulty in producing them, it is advised that spirit cores be retrieved from host bodies and reused upon their death. Spirit cores can also be embedded in Zugals to control them via astral arts. Addendum. Increased physical load on a host body tends to produce increased astral energy emissions. Final confirmation of ideal workload to impose on host bodies without inducing death from maximum astral energy yields is still pending. So essentially they're still trying to find the balance of how much to overwork them without killing them to get the most energy. A large-scale astral energy converter that primarily converts the elemental composition of Donna's astral energy and transmits it to Rena. Activation and control of astral energy conversion is achieved by placing the Sovereign, Maiden, and Rena's Alma within the central core of Lenegus. It is comprised of classified and essential personnel residence zones around a large conduit, along with a defensive layer surrounding them. This outer layer is deployed upon activation, unlocking the central conduit while simultaneously functioning as a stabilization mechanism. Due to its design, deployment of the outer layer is expected to cause damage to residential zones. However, because that only takes place during the final stage of the spirit channeling ceremony, no contingency plan to address the said damage is needed. Until that phase, Lenegus serves as a central base of operations for the management and execution of the crown contest on Donna. Warning, any personnel with level 3 authority or lower is strictly forbidden from the classified zone. Any violators will be immediately executed. A master spirit vessel placed on Donna for the spirit channeling ceremony. It serves as the tip of Lenegus' conduit from which it separates. Upon landing in Donnan waters, it extends 2 sets of conducting pathways. The vertical pathways connect to the center of Donna. Meanwhile, the horizontal pathways proceed to envelop the entire surface of Donna. Once activated, it links to the biological spirit vessels placed in each realm, efficiently harvesting the plane's astral energy en masse. The accumulated energy is then transmitted to Rena via Lenegus. Because construction and adjustment take place in the Forbidden Zone's regulator area, Lenegus' outer layer must be deployed prior to launch. Intended to function semi-autonomously, only maintenance personnel are expected to manually interface when it is necessary. No other personnel is required for it to function. Addendum 1, Detachable Harvester 1 was lost on Donna after exploding due to the rampancy exhibited by the Sovereign. Addendum 2, Detachable Harvester 2's landing point will remain the same as that of the previous model. This is due to the explosion of the previous model, which altered the planetary topography, enabling easier connection to the center of Donna. Ooh, Alphen's Mask. A device covering the wearer's whole face that restricts their mental activity. It was developed for the purpose of pacifying prisoners. Medical applications are also recognized, particularly as a means of preventing patients from sustaining mental trauma. However, doing so is not recommended, as prolonged use of the device carries the risk of inducing a number of adverse side effects. Addendum. Due to the loss of production facilities incurred from the partial destruction of Lenegus, additional devices will no longer be manufactured. After receiving reports of a robust new form of rule emerging in Donna's water realm, a study was commissioned to investigate the matter in depth. This system is unique in that it elevates only the Lord as the supreme authority while relegating both Renans and Donnans alike to enslavement. Test subject 10105 serves as the realm's current Lord and has achieved this without the use of any special powers, drugs, or special devices. Rather, it is done so by sheer governance. Given this method's effectiveness at population control, monitoring of the situation will continue. Addendum 1. Collapse of cognitive facilities via extreme mental repression rooted in violence and fear has proven to be key to this style of rule. Once a subject loses its autonomy, they become desensitized to fear and subsequently cease to prioritize even their own personal safety. Though such a state is ill-suited for commanding officers, it remains an effective way to cultivate disposable infantry and slaves for manual labor. Addendum 2. Soldiers in Lenegus who have undergone this treatment will be asked to secure classified sectors as a trial. The results will be monitored. Okay, well, that's all the information in here.
Only 2 sovereigns in over 300 years. So why has the experiment only succeeded twice in all this time? And if that's the case, why keep on doing it? Was there really no other way? Or could there be some other reason?
Dohalim.
Forgive me.
Alphen.
I'm fine. I'm just a little shaken, that's all. I knew what I was already, so it's not like it's a surprise or anything. But it's strange. I've got all this rage inside of me, but I don't even know who it's for. I'm scared that I'll put a face to it, just to have someone to blame.
If that were to happen, then No. Then we'd help you fight it, before you ever got that far. Wouldn't we, everyone?
Yeah, we wouldn't just sit by and watch you spiral out of control.
That's right. No good can come from being consumed by hatred.
If you ever start to lose your way, you can count on us to guide you back. To remind you where home is.
And I would be happy to lend an attentive ear, should you ever have need.
Thank you, everyone. I think I'll be okay now.
Alright. So this is gonna be where we stop for today. Gonna have to wait till next time to finish up and start the post-game stuff. Because while I'm sure we're really close to finishing, I'm sure the ending is probably gonna take a while. And even then, I don't know how many more cutscenes or how many more bosses there are before we get to the end. So, might as well stop here, and then we'll clean all that up, watch the ending, and start the post-game missions next time, which will be on Tuesday morning. No stream tomorrow. That's my one day off in the week. And then Monday morning, we'll be going back to Fury, which, like I said, I have 4 more bosses left in Fury. 3 in the main story, and then the 1 DLC, which I finished the first 6 on the first day I played it. Really fun game. Like, hard, really intense, and really satisfying whenever you finish up one of the bosses. Like I said, I got 4 left, and it's the 4 later ones, so I figure probably take about the same time as it took to do the first 6. So we'll more than likely be finishing Fury on Monday morning. And then Tuesday morning, we'll be back to Tales of Arise to finish it up. Don't know that we'll be able to finish up all the post-game stuff, so we may do one more day after that. And then the next game that's already been redeemed with channel points was Earthlock. So that's the foreseeable future. Again, want to give thanks. A lot of people raid me today, even though my computer or something apparently could not handle the first one. Just completely crashed on me. But thank you to anybody who stuck around. I know a lot of people might want to play this game, so probably a lot of people ducked out to avoid spoilers. But let me go ahead and call outs to everybody so I can get out of here. Wabon, Ragna, Snowy Meadows, Adam Bork, Starneko, Sandra Christensen, 383 Degrees, Snow Cove, Namulala, Bakusan, V aka 17, Times Orphan, Luna Topaz. And that's since I came back after the crash. Remember, was anybody? Jigs was here. Trying to remember if anybody else showed up before then. Anybody else from before my computer crashed? If I forgot you, I'm sorry. Also, thank you Bakusan, Namulala 383s, and Snowy Meadows for the raids. Thank you Trash Kitty 6, Claxy 73, and Adam Bork for the follows. And thank you to anybody else who may have been lurking and watching. It's always appreciated. As I said, no stream tomorrow. Be back Monday morning with Fury, and then Tuesday morning we'll be wrapping up Tales of Arise. And as for right now, let me see if I can find someone to raid. Hopefully I won't crash their stream when I do it. Bye, Webon. Bye, Ragna. Let's see. Looks like he's doing a just... Hey, Snorchupi Carp, how you doing? Let's go ahead and raid Namulala. He's comes by the stream a lot. Looks like he's doing a just chatting in a ramen bar in Japan. So, as per usual, let's go ahead and jump in, say hi, hope to see you all next time, and until then.
Bye-bye, everybody!